While it's certainly not a fact that the BBC is biased towards the right wing, and while in the 1980s it is certainly a fact that Mrs. Thatcher criticised the BBC for being biased towards the left wing, it is a fact that the appearance of the BBC's behaviour, the appearance of the BBC because of its behaviour, is that it is becoming a mouthpiece and organ of the far right of the Conservative Party, and that is utterly reprehensible. And there are three issues yesterday, and I only really dealt with two of them, but I will deal with the third one, of course, because, well, you'll see why. The first is the Lineker story. The BBC didn't seem terribly worried when Lineker put out a tweet saying that we should bin Corbyn, but is apoplectic when he puts out a very mild tweet suggesting that the behaviour of the current front bench of the Conservative Party, led by Suella Braverman, is reminiscent of the behaviour and language of the Germany during the 1930s. As I've said, we need to put this into context. There was a lot of racist language in the 1930s, and it wasn't all German. But Suella Braverman's beating on about invasion and small boats and her policies are deeply suspect and seem to me to be stirring up xenophobia and to be pandering to the worst aspects of our society. This is popularism gone mad. And Lineker, as a result of that tweet, has been suspended from Match of the Day. That's a programme which has been going on for 50-odd years without serious problems, and it seems extraordinary that what can even be passed off as a bit of banter becomes a serious national issue. But then it's compounded by the BBC decision not to air the 6th episode of a series by David Attenborough because apparently it might get into political trouble with the right of the Conservative Party, again, pandering to a particular political group. Now, it doesn't escape my notice that the BBC chairman is now Richard Sharp, himself under question, and a friend and possibly a donor or somebody who arranges donations for Boris Johnson. Shocking links. Now, if Lineker needs to be suspended while an investigation takes place, then surely Richard Sharp should be suspended while an investigation takes place, or quietly withdraw while an investigation takes place. He hasn't. He's remained at the helm, defiantly so, rather like Dominic Raab. Well, it's wrong. It's wrong. What's good for the goose is good for the gander. And now, the third thing is the failure of the BBC to properly scrutinise and balance the comments by Nadine Dorries of all people, last week about Sue Gray, and how Sue Gray's appointment by Sir Keir Starmer overturns the value and discredits the inquiry that she led into Partygate. Well, again, political bias and political favouritism. It doesn't mean that this actually exists in the BBC. What it means is the impression that it exists is supported. And the BBC has either been extremely stupid, which is rather the view I take, or is indeed in hoik to the right wing of the Conservative Party. I think it's been extremely stupid. And for an organisation which is committed to media and communications, to fail so magnificently is astonishing. After so many years of trying to balance its presentation, it simply isn't looking. and it's too self-obsessed. Self-obsessed. It needs to get its act in order, because I think, this more than anything else is going to destroy the present system of funding, the present system of the present system of media in Britain. This could be the point at which it all turns, and Nadine Dorries' campaign to discredit, to pillory, to defund the BBC now could be brought about partly by her. Partly by her. It's amazing.